What from an operational perspective, because this idea of VC money ran out, I was getting more money to continue growth and run, and now I have to be profitable.
Yeah.
That story happens whether it's VC money or just a shift in business, right? Or a shift in the economy, or, an ad campaign stops working, or whatever.
Yeah.
What were when you realized I'm not gonna be able to raise any more money there, where did you take it from there, from an operational perspective, right? From marketing, sales, what were the things that you did where you thought, okay, I've got to change this right now?
Yeah. And it's interesting too, right? Because it's a lot depend on where you are in that cycle, right? Because often as a VC funded company, you're not planning to be profitable anytime soon, right? You're planning to go raise a Series A, and then a Series B, and then a Series C, and that's what the investors are wanting you to do too. So you have this long trajectory, and you're investing in, probably typically these are technology-based companies. So you're hiring a ton of engineers. They're not immediately producing any revenues. They're expensive resources, and you're investing a lot in building this technology. And you may be investing a ton in marketing that's not necessarily providing great ROI. You're building brand, and you're building partnerships and things like that. And you're not looking as much as overall profitability. Ideally, you have some good unit economics so that if I sell it for 50 cents, I can make it for 25 cents. And so that's actually, if it scales, you're going to make money. There's some business model where, you sell $1 for 90 cents, and it doesn't matter how much you scale, that's never going to make any money.
Right.
And that was a lot what's going on back in the .com days. I think, nobody was thinking about that. So to get to your question, I think in my first company, Creditland, in the .com crash, we were so far from profitability, and the markets shifted so quickly that there was no way for us to fix it, right? Also, we're tied up in a bunch of partnerships, so that even if we wanted to stop spending money, we had like a 12-month deal with Yahoo, paying them, let's say, a couple $100,000 a month. We couldn't stop it because it was contractual, and they were going through the same thing. So we just had too much built up future AP and just couldn't salvage it. So there we just had to file bankruptcy and move on. In my second one, we were closer. We had real revenues. I think we were generating 25-30 million in revenues at the time. So there was a clear path. We did have engineers, and we were also building a platform, but we had real revenues that we could back it up with. So it just became a matter of, right, let's reduce our costs, sacrifice some of the long-term dream in order to get profitable fast. And then we'll just have to get to that long-term dream over time instead, funded by ourselves.
Presumably, the VC route, you're building to sell all the time.
Yeah.
Did you have I guess this applies to any of them, but did you have targets to sell to on creation of the company? Did you think, hey, I'm building it right now, and here are the people I'm potentially going to sell to?
We should start with an eye towards, we're swinging for the fences. If we succeed, we can be a publicly traded company, category defining, that everybody will know. But if that doesn't happen, and odds are it won't, you should have a plan B. And I think in my experience, the sooner you start to cultivate the relationships with potential acquirers, the better, right? If you think that Cisco might buy your company, or, Amazon, or whoever it is, Microsoft, just start to cultivate those relationships early. Because if you're trying to run some sales process on a short time frame, that's usually really hard to do. But if these guys are already partner of yours, they know you have relationships there, then the odds are that, the chances of you having a successful exit through an acquisition is going to be much higher.